child, will you look at those lovely creatures? Look at that one. As tasty and tempting and toothsome and trim and tiny a tidbit. No. Let's see, where was I? It's too bad that she's not the real McCoy.
Oh, but I am real.
Fancy that. Say, beautiful, let me in on the secret. Who are you, anyway?
Well, I'm a professional model, of course.
Why the model is important is that she is transmitting the changes in women's lives and not just the changes in fashion. By the early 20th century, commercial photography has evolved. Selling of clothing has become a huge business. And also the mass marketing, the franchising of the fashion industry happens. Around 1913, 1918, de Meyer's shooting Dolores, he's shooting Dinar Zad. It's the power of persona that's being developed. Do you represent the look and the value of the time? What's fascinating about Vogue magazine is very early on it realized that everyone else was interested in seeing what high society was doing. So naturally fashion aped high society. Performers and actresses were generally possessed of that star quality, that je ne sais quoi, that X factor. They were what the camera loved. Society women had the aura of money and importance. That seems to draw a big crowd too. In 1923, the first modeling agency is formed in New York City. Models like Marion Morehouse and Lee Miller become known by name, and they are completely different from the previous generation. This is a modern, liberated woman. Women are driving, they're drinking, they're voting. It's a cultural revolution.
The 20s, flaming youth and the flappers. It was the era of cloche hats, bobbed hair, and bootleggers. Oh, the 20s had its traumas, too. Daring, bathing beauties were arrested for indecent exposure. Oh, you kid.
Baron de Meyer's dreamy, airy, fantastic romantic images dissolve. In comes Steichen with brutal clarity. You can see every detail in this woman's face. You know who she is. She's staring back at you.
Fashions without fads or foolishness. No such thing, you say? Well, you may be right.
The 1930s comes along and the model recedes in importance, largely because of the society muse and the Hollywood glamour machine.
Let's go to beauty headquarters. Yes, Hollywood.
Modeling, I think, was a part-time thing. It was an opportunity to maybe acquire a little bit of social status. It was a glamorous thing, but I don't think it paid much.
The stock market crash ushered in the greatest economic depression in the nation's history.
Most women couldn't afford clothes. It really was a fantasy. However, the very rich were still rich. So they were the focal points. Beauty salons pop up on almost every corner in America, and every secretary in town wants to look like Joan Crawford. As a result, movie stars become the fashion directors. Likewise, the society muse. Millicent Rogers, Daisy Fellows, Duchess of Windsor, they're being watched constantly. Everything they do is fashion. They're not only living the fashionable life, they're fashion directors by virtue of their patronage to the great couturiers.
But somehow the models didn't seem too happy about the whole idea. And who can blame them?
By the late 1930s, American fashion really comes onto the map with the shutdown of the French couture.